no wind, so it's recentered. So that slab of plastic is now gone back to the middle. So we're going to just increase it a little more to the left, get a little black arrow and white line to sit on that top of the dotted white line, which is the centre line, yeah? So let it come across, let it come across. The body's on the centre line, just got to get the nose across a little bit. So all it is little adjustments. There we go.
2500.
See what I mean? There you go, you're on the line. Runway is ahead of us, nose down, Lewis, it's all your control now, so nose down slightly, good. Slow speed to 140 knots, so I'm going to flux 40. Okay, the runway is still a bit faded, here it is Exeter, but can you see the outline of it?
Yeah.
Just in that, there you go. So we're coming on to runway 08, so everything's looking good. So, once we land, okay, there's two levers here, okay? I'm going to get you to pull these two out nice and slowly, which is the reverse thrust levers, so don't worry about it for a minute. We've got loads of runway to slow down, so I'll get you to that in a second. Just dip the nose down a little bit more, so again, the speed is nice and low, so I'm just going to bring the throttle out, do a manual throttle now. That's it, there's the nose in the ground side, which is fine, because the aircraft's descending. Now, bring the nose up for me a little bit now, just so we can decrease that rate of descent. So the Exeter on the left, on your right-hand side. Flying over the city centre of Exeter. Not a place you want to have an engine failure last minute. Okay, at the minute we're just slightly off the centre line. The aircraft is just slightly to the south of the runway, so bring the nose up a little bit, so pull towards you. That's it, bring the nose towards you, good. And just make a very subtle bank to the left. Just a very small turn, nothing massive, that's fine. Those little adjustments, the aircraft will come across a little bit, and then we'll re-bank back to the right in a second. So you bank back to the right now for me, just a little bit. There you go, the aircraft's body's just shifted slightly. So all is on the approach, these very small adjustments, nothing too massive, nothing too big. Because if you make two big turns, the aircraft will get thrown right off. So can you see the runway ahead?
Yeah.
Good, runway's ahead. Now make a bit of a right bank, just to get the nose back in there. That's it, hold that little turn. Hold it there, hold that little turn. That's looking good, looking good. Okay, bank back to the left a little bit, get the wings level. A little bit more to the left, just more. Perfect. See what those little adjustments do?
Yeah.
They make all the difference. Okay, nose down a bit. So can you see all those lights on the left side of white?
Yeah.
That means the aircraft is just slightly too high on the approach. Okay? We want to see those lights half red and half white. So there's one red light back, which means the aircraft's only slightly too high now.
400.
And it's going to come down, hopefully get another red light coming in a second. There you go, two reds, two whites. That means the aircraft gliding perfectly. If we get more red, that means we're slightly low. At the minute we're looking good, so just drop the nose a little bit. So we might get another white come in. There we go, it's looking good. Nose up a little bit now.
200.
There you go, little adjustment. Just a bit of a right turn, get the wings level.
100.
Nose up a little bit more.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Okay, nose down for me. There you go. The aircraft's on the runway. Okay, left hand for me. These two things here, bring them up nice and slowly. Nice and slowly, all the way up, all the way. There you go. Good, hold them there. Aircraft slowing down nicely. Reverse thrust is green. We're now below taxi speed, so reverse thrust, pull them down for me. Push them down. There you go, all the way to off. Job's good. How was that? All right?
Yeah. That was weird. Fun.
Enjoy it?
Yeah. Right.
There we go. So, welcome to Exeter. So we have about 10 minutes left, right? So that's how quick time goes. But did you enjoy it, yeah?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
So, we'll go off now. What we'll do is we will do a final approach, okay? So, I think we'll go to somewhere like Innsbruck in Austria. Been there before? Okay, so Innsbruck is in Austria, right in the Austrian Alps. Okay, so we're going to be flying in mountains now. Okay, but we'll put an early morning arrival with some snow in, alright? So I kind of came the wrong way because I can't taxi anymore, so I've got two planes ahead of me. Well, so what I'll do is just put that. Good, job's good. Right, so let's go off and do a nice final landing, which I'm going to give you the throttle now. Okay, so your left hand's going to be on the throttles to do a bit of speed as well, but I'm going to give you a hand for that. Don't worry, I'm going to have my hand behind to give you a bit of reference. So, for landing, okay, we'll go through the throttle now. So I'll have your hand on, I'll have my hand behind, okay? So when I say speed in, I'll get you to push it away, and speed out, I'll get you to decrease it, okay?
Yeah.
Did you hear the aircraft systems call 100 foot to zero?
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
So, the speed will be in a little bit before landing.
Yeah.
Once he calls out 10 foot from the runway, so 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 foot, we bring the thrust levers to idle, so no power. And once we touch down, we'll just bring the nose down a little bit so the aircraft comes down. Then with the reverse thrust levers, nice and slowly, just nice and slowly. Once they come all the way up, okay, just sit your hand behind them, okay? Because the worst thing to do is this pull them any further because they'll come right off. All right.
Right.
So just with your left hand, just try those reverse thrust levers nice and slow all the way up for me. That's it. Now all the way until they stop, and when they stop, there you go. Just put your hand behind them for me. So if you just rest your hand behind them, there you go, just like that. So because there is the temptation of doing that. Reverse thrust is green. Once we're below 60, then push them all the way down for me. Just then come all the way down.
Straight down.
There you go. Reverse thrust comes off.
Yeah.
All good with that?
Yeah.
Right, so let's do a final approach into Innsbruck. So Lowy, India, runway 26. So we'll do this 5-mile final. So, can you see the runway ahead down there? It would obviously, it's not going to be like this, it'll load up in a second. I'll put it into an early morning state. There we go, we're now in the mountains, okay?
Right.
So, lots that could be quite catastrophic here. So, we'll go to a dawn approach. That's the thing with these sims, we can do absolutely anything with them. Okay, and then we'll put, not going to go too easy for you, I'm going to put some snow in. There you go, a bit of snow for the final approach. So I'll put some wipers already on, that's fine. Okay, so everything's pretty much set for the landing, okay? So we're going to get the aircraft stable on the approach, okay? Then I'll give you the thrust lever, alright? As well. So keep both hands on the controls for a minute. For me, get yourself nice and comfortable. We're going to go to flaps 30. Brakes going to come off. On spoilers in a second. So what we'll do is I'll put the runway centre line in for you, because we haven't got it at the minute. So, Lima Oscar, Whiskey India. We'll do, and then go to Arnav for runway 26. So can you see your centre line in there now?
Yeah.
There you go. So I'll just get the, don't worry about the heading bug, the purple one. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
So once I take the aircraft off pause, we'll be in flight, alright?
Yeah.
So, 3, 2, 1, and off we go. Okay, nose down a little bit, so push down. There you go. Don't worry about it too much. There you go, see the speed has dropped off a little bit. There you go, see the runway ahead yet?
Yeah.
Nose down a touch if you can, just bring the nose down a little bit more. Okay, bring your left hand onto the thrust lever for me. That's it, so I'll have my hand behind to give you a bit of reference how much speed we need. Okay, so just with the throttle quadrant, just with the throttle, just push it away from a little bit, just put a bit of power in. Good, hold it there, nose up a little bit. More towards you a little bit on the spot, that's it, good. So, nice easy movements on both, no need to panic, we're all good at the minute. Aircraft nice and stable on the approach. Nose down a touch, push away slightly, come to the right a little bit, make a bit of a right turn, just slightly, nothing massive. That's fine. That's good. Okay, bring your nose up a little bit, just pull towards you a touch. There you go, a bit more. Good. Nose down slightly now, just keep it there. A bit more to the right if you can, just a touch. That's it, good. Nose up a little bit, just put a bit of power in, just a little bit, push away on the throttle, just a little bit, good, that's it. A bit to the right a bit more if you can, just go to the right a touch more.
500.
Now push away on the nose, push down slightly, so push away from me, there you go, to hold it steady. Good. See the runway ahead? Good. Coming in
400.
nicely. Speed is good. Just slightly high, but that's fine at the moment, that's not a problem.
300.
Okay. Bring this power back a little bit towards you. Just drop the nose slightly as well, just push it down just very slightly, good.
200.
Right turn, get the wings level, that's it, good. Hold it there. Okay, start to bring your nose up for me, so we'll go backwards
100.
first. So 10 minutes. Nose up a little more.
50,
Okay, bring
40,
the power to
30,
no power,
20,
all the way back,
10.
all the way back, there you go. And reverse thrustings all the way up nice and slow. There you go, a bit more. Good, hold them there. Keep them there for me. Aircraft slowing down as it should. Speed is dropping nicely. We're now below 60 knots. Reverse thrust, disengage. Push them all the way down for me. There you go, Innsbruck. How was that, alright?
Yeah.
So good. Back to this one then for a minute. Taking a good left hand turn now. Can bit of power to help me out. So I tried to make the taxiway. Done a pretty good job of it in the end. All the way to the left. Did you enjoy the session?
Yeah, brilliant. What you use your foot pedals? How is that? You say you're steering with your feet as well.
Yeah. So what it is, okay. So
what's the difference between using that and that?
So the pedals here control the vertical stabiliser at the back. So the big tail at the back,
Yeah.
you know, the big high tail, okay, that's the rudder pedal. This goes left and it goes right. So if I kick a left, it'll go left like that, okay? If I kick a right, it'll go right like that, okay? Simple as that. But at the minute, I'm using the pedal as usual. I can use the pedals to steer, but in the real aircraft, okay, you're not picking up enough airspeed to taxi using the pedals, okay? Simply because you've got to have enough airspeed to counteract with that flap to turn the nose, okay? So at the minute, just like a car, once we land, once we get below taxi speed, okay, which is about 12 knots, what we do with the nose wheel steering, we clip it in place, okay? And also the landing gear is connected to this one, and all it's turning is the landing gear with this one, like driving the car, front wheels.
So it's completely completely different steering.
Completely different systems. Yeah, without a doubt.
I see what you're saying.
So what we do once we're on the run ready for takeoff, we don't use the nose wheel steering because that will snap the landing gear at high speed to turn it. So what we do is we clip it out of place and then back onto the pedals.
Got it. Yeah, I see.
So what we'll do now is you bring your wheel well right off. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 2, 3, 4, and then with your strobe light, pull it one into the middle for me. The middle bit is the off. There you go. And now the 2 runway lights and 4 landings off. And the seatbelt signs off. One more, bring one up. Job's done. Well done.
Brilliant. Excellent stuff.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's great.
And relax.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing.
One of those moments, isn't it?
Yeah. Good stuff.
That's what I'll do very quickly. So what we'll do is we'll get you out now. So if I just grab this one
Yeah.
off first, it's a little easier. And what I'll do is grab the little rope. So getting out is a lot easier than getting in. So if you grab this little, that's right, grab the rope before you can sit on it. All you got to do, like mine, you push yourself all the way back and into the right. There you go.
Is that actually in a real plane?
Yep. Exactly how it is. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Okay, now let's just take this all off. There we go. All's good. Everything's recorded nicely.
So obviously, if you get, I guess, more and more involved, obviously, the more you, more lessons you have, then obviously, because obviously the very basics is what we've done today. But
without a doubt, yeah.
You turn them. What's happening? Why is it doing that?
Because obviously, wind resistance. We've got a rush of wind going our way. Okay, as when we're flying into wind, okay, the wind's always rushing in one direction over the wings. Okay, so once you dip the wings, okay, that air resistance, okay, because we start to bank the wings, okay, the air rises, okay, so effectively once one wing dips, it's lower than the other, it pushes that wing down, okay, which also dips the nose at the same time. So all the wind is doing, we're flying completely within the winds, okay, we start to bank it, the wind resistance is well off, okay, but one wing is banked, one is slightly higher, one slightly lower. The wind doesn't know how to deal with that, the aircraft doesn't know how to deal with it, so all it does, the wind just comes onto the fuselage a little bit more and pushes that nose down. It's just different wind directions. A bit of a left turn now, get the wings to come level. There you go, so you're now going past 160 degrees. So, I'll show you how this works now. So we get the wings nice and level. So, follow my movements a minute, so we're going to get the nose down a little bit because the nose is slightly pitching too high. So, at the minute you can see we're at 161 degrees, yeah? We're 1 degree off our heading. So what we don't want to do, we don't want to do this. We don't want to make a big bank like that. Because all of a sudden the aircraft will go past, by the time we start levelling off, okay, you're going to go past it, okay? So again, I'm down 1 degree past. Okay, all you got to do with this sort of indicator, so if you only cut degrees off, you've got to very slightly just edge it. Just little edges, nothing massive. Just hold that there. You'll do it slowly, but it'll still come across. We're still banking, just so we don't overshoot it. There you go. 159. It's still coming over. I'm still banked. The aircraft's still stable. 159. Then that come in towards 160. I'll start banking back left a little bit. There you go. Nice and left. Wings level. Job done. I'll just do a bit more so it sits in there nicely. There you go. Job done. All good with that, Nick?
Yeah.
Good. Perfect. So controls are still yours. So just bring your nose towards you a touch. Just. You've got to watch everything. Okay, make a bit of a right turn. Just get the wings level. Just get the wings level because the minute you're banked slightly to the left. There you go. Bring the wings nice and level on the horizon. There you go. Wings level. Controls middle. So at the minute you're 2 degrees off. That's fine. I'm fine with that. There's no bit of time. So I'm keeping an eye out for Exeter, which I have my eyes on at this moment in time. Exeter is down here. There's the airport there. So what we're going to do, we're going to descend and we're going to come over where I live. I live down here on the beach in Exeter, just down here. So I'm going to come down this way. Okay, we're going to come over the estuary, down over Dartmoor in this way, and then come down and land on this side of the runway, okay? So, if you turn to the right for me now, we'll go to 119 degrees. Can you see the white centre line here?
Yeah.
You see that's the centre line for the runway. Obviously we're too high for it at the minute, so we're not landing this side, we're going to land the other side. Okay, control column towards the middle position, and that nose is now starting to rise. Push it down for me, slightly. You're pulling up on the controls, so the aircraft's obviously dealing with the fact that you want to bring it up. But we've got to be careful when we start dipping the nose on we bank, because it will go down quite quickly. So now pull towards you just very slightly, just hold it nice and steady. There you go. So keep that turn going, we'll go further than 119, we'll go to 210, okay? So at 200 degrees you can start your left turn. There's the airfield again, just in here. Just there it is, just there. Okay, start making a left turn now. A bit more to the left, increase it a bit more, keep going to the left, increase it a bit more, there you go. So if you ever want to get to your heading, if you ever want to bank the aircraft quicker, you've just got to put more in, okay? A bit more to the left to get the wings level. There you go, wings are nice and level.
What was that line again you said was across there? What was that?
What, here? Down here?
Yeah. Oh, it's there now, right, okay.
See there?
Yeah.
Because that's the centre line of that runway. That's the centre line for the runway down there.
Yeah, right,
okay?
yeah.
Obviously, we've just flown over, haven't we?
Yeah.
Okay, so the centre line is also, if I zoom out,
Yeah,
it's going to be that side as well. See it there? So we're going to fly down over Exeter, which is here, which is down there. We're going to fly this way. We're going to go parallel towards the airfield. We're going to turn right, okay? And then right again, and come down to the centre line and land on runway 08, which is the other side. So I'm just going to put these 08 in, because that's the side of it. Okay, bring your nose up. So the nose is the brown side. So now we're effectively, that's right now? That's right. We're effectively plummeting now. You look at the other and it does something else, yeah. Go right. Goes down a little bit now, push down slightly, just so it holds steady there. There, perfect, there you go. No trouble. No problems. So we need to start descending effectively, because we are very, very high. So, to descend, we're going to lower the nose now. We're going to push down slightly. We're going to slow the speed up to about 210 knots. And we're going to put that nose about there, just below 2.5 degrees, but just above zero. The nose is still pitching up, but the aircraft is now losing altitude there, and losing speed at the same time. See there as well? That's the golden rule. As long as the aircraft is losing speed, losing altitude, with the nose very slightly pitched up, you're golden. Because as I said, as you pitch down, the aircraft will gain speed. That's like running or driving down a hill. You'll gain speed. So we've always got to monitor that. So we're gonna descend now to about 6,000 feet. All right, all the way down to 6,000. So if it's on 0 degrees, which it is, that's fine. The speed is increased. The speed is still dropping. That's the main thing. I'm still seeing the airfield, which is just down here. Just there's the runway, just sits in there. So in a second, we're going to make a turn and go parallel towards the airfield itself. How's it all feel, alright?
Yeah, it's good. I can't believe how light it is. I would imagine it'd be really light too, a lot heavier.
Do you thought we'd be up here
Yeah.
No. Because it's all hydraulic and fly-by-wire, okay? It's all instant reaction, okay? And that's how amazing they are. You put a bit of pressure in, it does it. It's same with the real thing. You pitch up a little bit, it does it straight away.
So what I'm experiencing, there's no difference between this and the real aircraft.
Yeah.
No.
Because we train pilots in it, it has to be like the same thing. It has to be exactly like the real thing. So all this turning you've been doing and pitching the nose up and down, if you're doing it the real thing, it would do exactly that for you. It's extremely responsive. So drop the nose a little bit more, just push down slightly. There you go. So get a little adjustment like that nose will come down. Just like that. Okay, I'm going to set the heading now to about slightly parallel towards the runway. So at the minute I'll take it to 250, which is just slightly off, that's fine. So bring the nose up a little bit just so it's not too much in the ground, and just turn to the right for me, and then we'll go to 250 degrees. We'll start heading parallel towards the centre line while we descend, which is the main thing. Okay, controls to the middle, so just center the control column just so we don't overbank. There we go. We'll hold it there. Drop the nose a little bit more, just push down slightly. Good, that's fine. The adjustment as you've done is great. Okay, start making a bit of a left turn for me now. it's just gone out of sight, I think. That's fine, that's not a problem. There's the clouds in the way as well. So drop the nose a little bit, the aircraft's now starting to climb. There you go, that's fine, all of that. So at the minute we have a bit of sightseeing, we have places like Teignmouth down this area, we have Torquay that sits just in here, Paignton just down here as well. Nose up a little bit if you can, just pull the nose towards you a touch, there you go. You've been down this way before?
Yeah, I was down at Beer over Christmas.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, which is about that, yeah, down that way.
Yeah.
Beer's nice.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, got some friends going.
Yeah, Beer of Branscombe, nice area.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we walked over the top through Beer to Branscombe.
Yeah, it's nice, nice walk. And the distance, in the very far distance, we have Plymouth, just slightly further down. Trying to avoid that as much as possible when we land that way, west. Best place in the world. Yeah, I wouldn't. Our chief instructor pilot is from Plymouth, and always take the big note about Plymouth. And he hates it, it's hilarious. Okay, so 6,000 feet, we're going to level off in a second. Actually, no, we'll drop another 1,000 feet, we'll go to 5,000, alright? So we're going to turn the heading again, we're going to turn to the right, we're going to start making a slow turn all the way towards the airfield now. So if you turn to the right, it will now go to 290 degrees. A bit more to the right, increase. So we've got to make sure we stay above 5,000 feet simply because we're about to fly over Dartmouth, and Dartmouth is a no-fly zone, anything above below 5,000 feet. Okay, controls to the middle. There you go. Because it's the Marines and the Army train there. They do a lot of military training on Dartmoor now, so it's a no-fly zone. Anything below 5,000 feet. So remember we did a bit of flying down here recently in a small plane with a friend, and we went down to Bodmin in Cornwall. We went north, and we went towards the north coast and down, and then when we came back, we kept trying to follow the ocean all the way across. So we had to stay away from Dartmoor, and the small aircraft we were in couldn't fly above 5,000 feet, so we had to make sure we go around it. Bit more to the left, increase that left turn, let's get the wings to the level. There you go, job's done. There you go, 290 degrees. There you go, you're on your heading, nose down to touch for me. So we're now approaching 5,000 feet, which is fine, so I'm going to slow the aircraft down to 180 knots, and we're going to go to flaps 2. Okay, nose up a little bit, just slightly. There you go. Bit of a right turn to the wings level. There you go. Okay, come across with your left hand for me and turn on the landing lights, which is 1, 2, 3 and 4 here on the far left. These 4 for me there. There you go. That's it, down for me. Cool, jobs are good. Okay, and also the seatbelt signs, we showed them a while ago, so that one there, put that one down as well. Job's good. So, you can see the centre line here, yeah? So we'll follow the further, we're going to turn a bit more to the right, head towards it, then we'll turn right again to get the aircraft on that centre line. So, nose up a little bit, we're approaching 5,000 feet, and we're just skimming Dartmoor right now, that's fine. Again, we're in the sim, it's not too much of a problem, but we do like to try and stay within guidelines, some of the legal laws. Okay, turn to the right for you, we'll start heading away from Dartmoor now, so if you turn right, we'll go to 340 degrees, 340. Okay, controls to the middle, that's fine, just hold the turn there. You're holding us nicely around 5,000 feet, bring the nose up a little bit, that's fine. Drop it over, which is fine, so we're going to head down now towards 4,000 feet. That sound just means we're approaching the altitude.
So the flaps are doing what? Are they just
helping slow the aircraft down,
just slowing?
increase drag, bring the nose up a little bit. You need to land with the back wheels first, yeah?
Yeah.
Every aircraft lands back wheels. It just
yeah.
helps to bring the nose up a little bit more. Okay, a bit of a left turn now, to get the wings level. Set the nose down for wings, the aircraft's pitching around 10 degrees, so get the nose down, so give it a good push down, a bit more, there you go. Okay, good, a bit of a left turn at the same time, get the wings to come nice and level. There you go, I'm going to slow the aircraft down onto 165 knots. Nose up a little bit, just so it doesn't dip too much. We're going to hold that there, because we're going to descend down to 4,000 feet. I have the airfield in sight, which is just in here. So the airfield is, there it is. So, see we're flying nose line to sit nicely in the middle of this line. So now, your purple heading line, don't worry about it. We're going to get out of the way. Alright, so don't worry about it anymore. So we get it slightly up at that side of us, the other side. So don't worry about it now, I'm just going to put it out of the way. Nose up a little bit, we're now approaching 4,000 feet, which is fine, which is where we want to be. Good. Nose, now push the nose away from you slightly, just hold it there. Good. Perfect. Okay, on the overhead panel again for me, come with your left hand and turn on the 2 runway lights here for me. Bang, 1 and 2. Job's done. Okay, and we'll go flaps 10. I'll let the speed drop below 170. And flaps 15. And landing gear 10. Okay, push down a little bit for me, just slightly. And start making a very slow turn to the right for me. So, as you turn, if you notice, this little arc comes out here. See that there? The tip of the arc is the nose, okay? So what we're going to do, as we get closer towards that white dotted line, so just keep an eye on that screen for me now, the left screen. We're going to hold that there, and I'm going to show you how we do this. So we're going to fly this approach together, we're all going to land it on your own. Okay? So that line's coming closer, that nose angle at the minute, we're heading nicely towards the runway. We're going to flaps 30 now. So, as that line comes closer, we're going to keep the aircraft. See the tip of the arc still?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to get the little arc to sit nicely in the middle of that centre line. There you go, so I'm going to decrease it slightly. The aircraft's coming around nicely towards see the tip is getting towards the centre line? There you go, so all it does, it just brings the body of the aircraft round to the centre line. So there it is, it's starting to interlock with each other. So just so you can get it in there nicely, there we go. It's now interlocking with each other. All I want to do is keep it like that. Keep it nicely interlocked. All it will do is a little adjustment left to right. All it's going to do is going to bring the aircraft round. I can see one of the runway lights, which is just here. See the light there? There we go, just slightly. So, the thing is, that won't bring the nose of the aircraft onto the runway, it'll only bring the body. So what I need to do is get the aircraft, so get the triangle to start sitting on the centre line. See it's coming into it now? All I'm going to do now is I'm going to increase that turn, or just to swing that nose, because the nose is still on the way out here. There we go, so the aircraft's nose is coming in. I'm going to swing it even more. There we go, the aircraft is on the centre line. See the dotted line, yeah? The nose is coming in nicely. Now we're going to start to bank back slowly towards the left. Okay, nicely done. So, the aircraft's body is pretty much in the middle of that triangle. See the centre line, yeah? And the nose, see the line is now... There you go, stable, just like in your car, your handbrake's on so you can't go anywhere. There you go, lights on. So, now, at the top of your speed indicator, okay, so left-hand column on your right screen, can you see it says 100 right on the top in purple? Okay, that is your marker, okay? So now, here, up on the low control, there's 100 knots, that's speed, okay? I'm going to put it to our takeoff speed, which is 130 knots. Now it says 130 at the top of your speed indicator, yeah? Okay, now go over to your altimeter, other side, can you see at the very top, it says 10,000 feet in purple? Yeah? Same again, altitude in here, okay? So if I set that now to, let's say 12,000, it now says 12,000, correct? So all they are, they're just little markers, okay? So come back to your speed indicator, you'll see the marker come down. You see the marker there? Can you see it there, the little number indicator? So again, it's just a marker. So what we'll do, once the speed rises above 130 knots, okay, we'll pull back on the controls and we'll raise the nose and go for takeoff, okay? Now, on your blue side of your horizon, we're going to pitch that nose, okay, to about 15 degrees, okay, for takeoff. So, you know where the 15 degree line is, yeah? So you've got 10 degrees.
Yeah, just the next
the two lines.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it, 15. So we're going to pull the nose towards us. That nose dot and the wings will rise on the blue side. We'll get that little dot and the wings to sit on that 15 degree line, or somewhere between 10 and 15. Okay, around that region for me is fine. Okay.
So after we reach 130, then you pull up.
Pull up, yeah.
Got it.
All right.
Yeah.
So what we'll do now is I will start to put a bit of engine thrust in, but what first? Now we'll put some wing flaps in. So I'll get you to do this in a second, but I'll show you first how we do flaps. We never pull any lever in here out. It always goes up. Okay. So I lift it up into 1. Okay. Out of 1 into 2. 2 into 5. That's 5 degrees of flaps. The flap indicator is coming up here. As the amber light is set at green, it means the flaps are then set at 5 degrees for us. So once that's done, we'll then start making our taxi. There we go. So what I'll do is put a bit of engine thrust in to get the aircraft moving. Get the engine starting to spool up. I'll now release the brakes, and the aircraft will now start to roll forward. I'm just going to use a bit of work here just to steer the aircraft left and right. It's basically a little nose wheel steering. Like driving your car now, effectively.
What's that thing doing?
This turns us. So I do a left turn, the aircraft starts turning left. See that? It's like driving your car. Exactly like driving your car.
Oh right.
Okay, and we stay centred a bit more to the left if we can. Okay, just like driving your car. This one is.
Okay.
This is how we navigate on the ground. We just use a little wheel, like just like this, in every aircraft.
Why is it not on this side?
Captain's, it's always on the captain's side usually. It's a funny rule. I've no idea why it's not on both sides. It's just on the captain's side. So get us onto that line there. Okay, so now we do a couple of quick checks. Left side is clear. It's got nothing coming in. Okay, let's check the runway in a second once we get a bit closer towards it. Again, air traffic control always clear us on, but we do visual checks anyway.
Yeah.
So the runway's just here. Okay, anything on the runway you can see? Good. Now keep an eye on your little runway indicator on your left-hand screen. Okay, I'm going to get the aircraft to sit nicely in the middle of that white centre line and those two long lines. There you go. Perfect. So now I can just click that on. There it goes. Okay, so you can see now the aircraft is sat in the middle of that runway, isn't it? Yeah?
Yeah.
So the centre line, the dotted white line is going through the back of the triangle, yeah?
Yeah.
That is indicating the aircraft's body is on the centre line, okay? And now your two long runway lines here inside. So, a bit of visual outside. Those two long runway lines are your two lines here.
Yeah.
1 and 2.
Right.
Your white centre line that goes out all the way through and up is simply your middle line here.
Yeah.
That makes a bit of sense, yeah? Great, so now we're ready for takeoff, so you can put your strobe light on this one there, down and then come across my side and put your 4 landing lights on. 1, 2, 3, 4, flip this 4 down, there you go, put your 4, jobs are good in. Okay, now your right hand onto the controls for me, that's it, wrap that thumb on this inside here for me, there you go, just in there, great. Your left hand can now go on the thrust levers, engine 1 and 2, you'll be doing the thrust for me, so grab both of those. Okay, so in a second, I'm going to get you to push these two all the way up, okay, once they come all the way up, okay, once they stop, okay, try not to force them, they're nice and smooth. So once they can't go any further, then apply both hands to the controls for me.
How quickly do you do it?
So what we'll do it at a nice pace, okay? I'll do it with you next year and just show you how much power we should put in.
Okay.
What we never do that, okay, we never do it too slowly. We just start putting a bit of power just like that, and then we increase it, okay?
Yeah.
So what you get to do now is start applying the power for me. Nice and slow, I'll release the brakes. There we go, brakes released, so just start putting a bit more power in. There you go, keep following my hand for me, there you go. All the way, keep coming, all the way now, there you go, a bit more. There you go. All the way now. All the way. So it stops. Perfect. Both hands onto the controls for me. The aircraft's rolling down the runway. I'm using now the pedals on the ground to steer the aircraft on the runway. Okay, now keep an eye on your airspeed indicator. Keep that other hand on the control as well, so both hands on the controls. The aircraft's now at 120 knots. We are now at 130, which is takeoff speed, so pull the controls towards you a little bit more. There you go, nose is coming up. There you go, and up we go. Now, to stop the nose from rising, just push the controls back towards that centre position for me a bit more. There you go, the nose is rising. There you go, that nose dot is just on that 15-degree line on the blue side. It's coming above now, so push down a little bit, so push away from you for the touch. There you go. That's 15 degrees of pitch. Nice takeoff angle, positive rate of climb, landing gear. There you go, no rise.
What is this thing doing?
That is the trim. I'll explain that in a few minutes, alright? Just to get nice simple, climb out first. So I'm going to throttle back now to climb power. So the speed's going to be it's going to start over speed. There we go. Speed down a touch, and we'll go to. There we go, climb power. So keep an eye on your little nose dot on the blue side. See where your nose dot is?
Yeah.
It's on 10 degrees a minute, just approaching 12.5. That's fine for a minute. The aircraft's still climbing.
Yeah.
You can see on your altimeter we're climbing at about nearly 4,000 feet a minute. Okay.
Yeah.
So, the way I know that is now about 3,000 feet a minute. At the very far corner of your right screen, can you see this little indicator here, this little white line going all the way up? This is your VSI, your vertical speed indicator. This is showing us how much we're climbing at a certain time, or descending at a certain time. So at the minute, at the very top, this little box on the far right, it says about 1,600 feet, yeah? That means we're climbing at that rate. So we're climbing nose dot has come all the way down towards nearly 5 degrees. So what we're going to do is now I'm going to pull towards me, so follow my movement, so I'm going to raise that nose, I'm going to pull it back up to 15 degrees, just so the aircraft can continue to climb. There you go, so a little adjustment, I'm going to keep the nose there on 15 degrees. Fine, the aircraft's climbing nicely. Nose is pitching up quite a bit now. We're going to get above 7,000 feet, and then we're going to start doing a gradual climb. So, approaching 7,000 feet now. 7,000 feet, so what we're going to do now, we're going to push it away from us, push it away, we're going to let the nose come down, we're now going to go to 10 degrees of pitch, so let the nose down a touch. We're now going to do a gradual climb at 10 degrees, that's usually around say a little bit more, down slightly more to get on that 10 degree line, let it go, let it come down a touch more. There you go, let it come down one more, there you go, perfect. 10 degrees, fine, we're now doing a nice gradual climb. This is routine in an aircraft, to climb above a certain altitude, usually about 6,000–7,000 feet, and then just let the nose down a touch. So what you notice when you go on holiday or go on a plane is the aircraft pitches quite steeply first, doesn't it? Yeah. And then it levels off slightly. Yeah. Okay, you're still climbing, but what the pilot does just brings the nose down to about 10 degrees, which is a nice climbing angle for passengers in the back, because when you take off it's quite uncomfortable really, that sort of back angle. So the pilot just lowers the nose to about 10 degrees, a nice gradual climb, it's nice and comfortable for passengers in the back, and then we climb up towards our cruising altitude. So, approaching 10,000 feet, so what we're going to do, we're going to start to get the nose down even further, we're going to hold the altitude around just over 10,000 feet, okay? So what we're going to do now, push down a bit more, push away from you slightly more, we're going to let the nose come down to between 5 and 2.5 degrees. So there's 7.5 and 5. The next two lines is there, that's 5 degrees, so lower it a touch more, just so it comes slightly below. There you go, that's fine. You can see the horizon out now, and we're now the altitude is holding off gradually at around 10,500 feet. There we go, little adjustments, nose up, nose down to keep the aircraft stable, so there's going to be a lot of adjustments. And there we go, job done. How's that all feel, alright? Yeah. So outside, bit of visual, we have the south coast of Wales, South Wales, and then we have North Devon coast. That's how small it is. And we're landing, heading over here. The Exeter airport is right over here, where my red dot is, okay? So not very far at all. So lower the nose a little bit, so just keep holding it there, that's good. Right, let's make some turns. So I've set a heading, a left turn over here of 205. We'll set it to 200, okay? So we'll make the first turn together, okay? Just show you how it all works, okay? But first things first, we'll do a couple of things that I have to take off checks, which is the landing lights off, okay? That goes on to continuous power, seatbelt signs go off, and the landing gear goes into position. Job's done. So keep an eye on that nose for me. That nose knocks out. It does do things that you don't want it to do. So got to keep an eye on that. Okay, so it's pitching correctly now. And now we're going to turn left and go to 200 degrees. So what we'll do, follow my movements. I'm just going to turn the aircraft now to the left. I'm going to hold the pitch around 5 degrees, and I'm going to hold the controls there. I'm going to let the aircraft bank a minute. I'm going to let it bank, let it bank, let it bank. Once the aircraft's at a safe level of bank for my liking, I'm going to bring the control column towards that middle position. But note, once the aircraft starts to bank, the aircraft loses lift. Okay, so that nose is going to start to drop a little bit, which is fine, but it's slightly higher. So I'm going to push it down a little bit, just so it's around 5 degrees. I'm going to keep the nose there. The aircraft's banking. The heading bug is coming towards us yet. See it there? Once we're 10 degrees from our heading, so once we're at 210 degrees, I'm going to start my counteracting right-hand turn to bring the wings level. 213, 210, there we go. So I'm going to start now turning to the right. I'm going to make initial right turn, start bringing the wings level. Okay, 4 degrees off, 3 degrees off, 2 degrees off, and a degree off. Now let it set on 200 degrees. There you go. Wings are level. There we go, wings are now level. Pitch is slightly higher, so nose down a touch. And there we go, 200 degrees yet? And 200 degrees. We're set nice in that little heading bug. No problems at all, we're going in the right direction. Obviously
what's happened?
Okay, I'm glad you asked me that, okay? That is simply because we now have a crosswind. So what I'm going to do, just to show you, I'm just going to pull the pilot into 2 seconds, okay? So relax for a second with the controls. So at the minute, the aircraft at this moment in time has a crosswind, okay? So let me just slow this down a minute. So at this moment in time, yeah, the aircraft has a bit of a crosswind, okay? There we go. So at the minute, in this top corner, we have a crosswind. Can you see it says 273 degrees / 21 knots, yeah? That means the aircraft has a 21 knot crosswind with the arrow going this way, yeah? That means we have a 21 knot crosswind going that way, okay? So, this white nose line, okay, is a predicted heading line. It gives you a prediction of where you're going, okay? It's not your exact heading, because your exact heading is the black arrow, yeah? That's exactly where we're going. So, imagine that white line that comes out the nose, okay, is a 640-mile long slab of plastic. Nice and thin, okay, it's going to be quite flimsy, isn't it? Okay, so in a 21 knot crosswind going that way, it's going to get blown that way, isn't it? Okay, so that's what's happening now to that line. It's displaying full crosswind, so it's blowing that nose line slightly that way, indicating that the aircraft is going this way, but actually it's trying to tell us we're going that way, which is impossible, isn't it? We can't be going two ways at the same time. Okay, so all it does, all it indicates to the pilot is that you have a crosswind, okay, so keep an eye on your actual heading bug itself. Don't keep an eye on the white line. It's indicating keep an eye on this one, not that one. A minute. Once the wind dies down, once it goes, all the white line will do, there'll be no wind, so all the little side plastic will start to come back to the middle. And all it'll do, it will just nicely reset it. But then if you have the same wind, but going that way, the line will come this side. Plastic will get blown this side. Does that make sense? In a way?
Yeah.
Does that make a bit more sense, yeah? So at the minute, white line, don't worry about it. Keep an eye on that 200-degree heading bug, where the black arrow is, and the heading bug itself, which is the purple indicator. Just keep an eye on that. So all we want to keep an eye on at the minute is just your top here. Alright, don't worry about the white line at all, alright? All good?
Yeah.
Okay, grab all of the controls again. I'll get rid of the autopilot. Okay, now, in terms of turning, does that make sense, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool, so we'll make another turn. We'll head a bit further towards the south coast. So we're going to turn left again, and we're going to go to 160. Okay, so keep the nose stop where it is, but just turn the aircraft to the left for me. Just a little bit more. That's it. Good. Bring that control column now a bit to the right, just slightly to the right. Just bring it towards the middle. There you go. About there. That's fine. And just hold it there. You see that nose is dropping a little bit. Yeah. So pull towards your touch so it doesn't drop down too much. There you go. Little adjustments. Once our heading says 117 degrees, we'll then start turning to the right. So then 174, 173, 172, 171. Now start turning to your right for me. There you go. Hold that there. Just hold that rate of turn. You don't want to turn off too early. Just hold it there. Little adjustments now to the right. Little adjustments. Little fragment adjustments. There you go. There you go. 161. Wings are now level. 160. Job done. There you go. Nose down a touch because the aircraft's pitching over 10 degrees. Can you see there? So the nose is pitching way up. So push that nose down for me. So when we're pitching up anything more, we want to be at 2.5 and 5 degrees. Push the nose down. Keep pushing down.
So why do you lose height as soon as...
There we go. So we're all rolling there. Okay, so Kevin, lots going on in here, yeah? Lots of buttons, switches, dials, screens, okay? Lots of stuff that it's like, what the hell does that do? Okay, what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to explain everything all at once, okay? I'm not going to go through what every single button does because we'll be here for 2.5 years. Because that's how long it takes to learn to fly these things, alright? So, we're just going to go through the very basics of flying, okay? So, in front of us, we have two screens in front of us, don't we? Yeah, you have two screens and I have two. Yeah? Can you see they're exactly the same?
Yeah.
Okay, and the flight controls in front of us, that control the nose down, the nose up, turning left, turning right, are dual control. Okay, it's the same for every aircraft. So, this indicates one pilot is flying, one pilot is monitoring. Okay, so you're going to be the pilot flying, I'm going to be the pilot monitoring. Okay, so you're going to be on the controls actually flying the aircraft, while I just tell you what to do and monitor you. Okay, simple as that. And I do some of the switches around you. Okay, so while I'm doing stuff, I'm going to be telling you why I'm doing stuff. Okay, and then a bit further down towards the end of the session, the bits that I'm also doing, I'm going to get you to do as well while you're actually flying. Okay, so just doing, I'll get you doing the basics first, then as you're flying, I'm going to get you to do a bit more with using the overhead, the throttle quadrant, okay, and down towards the FMC as well, okay, while you're actually flying. So just a bit of multitasking to see if you can kind of cope with making a landing in horrible weather while flicking some buttons and getting a cup of coffee at the same time. We'll miss out the coffee bit. Alright?
Okay.
Does that sound okay?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
Great. So, what we're going to do first is we're going to come down and basically go through what our flying instruments do. So your two screens are your flying instruments, okay? So these are our Bibles of flying, okay? These tell us what the aircraft's doing at what times, okay? It's all the information we need for now. So, just the two screens, and then I'll incorporate more as we go down the line, okay? So, let's come down to our right-hand screen first, okay? So this one is called your primary flight display, okay? It displays three main bits of information for us. So, our right-hand column on this right-hand side, this one is your altimeter. So, can you see in this box here, it says 625 or 630 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, So at the minute, that's telling us that we are 630 feet in the sky, yet we're sat on the ground. Any ideas why?
Above sea level?
Perfect, above sea level. Okay,
Right.
we always measure sea level, because sea level is the same wherever it is in the world. Okay, obviously on the ground you've got low high flats and big mountains and flats and that sort of thing. You can't find average ground level, can you? Just like this, isn't it, the land?
Yeah.
Okay, also you've got mountains, you've got hills, you've got valleys. Okay, you've got low flats. Okay, you can't find an average ground level. Okay, so
Right.
we're always measured sea level. It's the same wherever it is in the world. And when we're at different airports, some airports are lower or higher above sea level.
Yeah.
Okay, we always do a thing called what we call QNH. Okay, so QNH is barometric pressure. So all it does is it measures how high the airfield is above sea level once we're on the ground. Okay, so at the minute we're at 620 feet, and that's a QNH of 1013 at the bottom. Okay, so if I'm at La Paz Airport in South America, okay,
Yeah.
that is 13,500 feet above sea level. Okay, so I
Right.
have to adjust that QNH here. So as I adjust this little button here, you'll see the altimeter will rise to different sea levels. So let's go up the numbers. Can you see it's rising there?
Yeah.
So let's say I'm at an airfield that's 1,020 feet above sea level.
Yeah.
I have to adjust this QNH on the ground until it says 1,020 feet. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There you go. That's about it. 1,020 feet.
Yeah.
So then the aircraft knows exactly how high it is above sea level. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we don't have to worry. Simply because if we're coming into land and the QNH is wrong, okay,
Yeah.
the automatic pilot system could be telling us that we're only 20 feet from the ground, yet we could be 300 feet in the
Yeah,
sky
get it,
because the
get
QNH is completely wrong.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right, and I'm going to take you back to what we actually are, so we just save us having that issue. So it's 1013. There you go. So back to 620 feet.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah. got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Left-hand column. This one is your airspeed indicator, so speed of the aircraft during flight. That's a nice easy one. All right, good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Middle display with the blue and the brown. This one is called the artificial horizon. So what you're seeing in this display is what you're seeing out in front of you, effectively, because the blue is the sky,
Yeah.
and the brown is the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. Me and you, the aircraft. Okay. See the little square dot here in the middle?
Yeah.
That is the nose of the aircraft, and the two lopsided L shapes are simply the wings. Okay, so this is all to do with pitching the nose up, pitching the nose down,
Yeah.
and banking us left, banking us right.
Yeah.
Okay, now brown side, we don't want to focus on too much because during flight, if that nose dot and wings are brown side, it means the aircraft is plummeting towards the ground. Okay, so we can avoid that one as much as possible. Okay, so blue side is what we want to focus on primarily. Okay, so in the middle here we have all these small and big white lines. Can you see them here?
Mhm.
And also on the brown side as well.
Yeah.
Okay, these are all your degrees of pitch. These tell you how high you're pitching the nose at different angles. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to go through each of these lines on the blue side simply because I'm going to tell you or ask you to hold the nose at certain angles during flight. Okay, I might say 5, 10, 15, 20 degrees, that sort of thing. Okay,
Yeah.
so can you see the 10 degree line here?
Yeah.
Okay, all the way across, great. So we'll count up first, then we'll count down. It all goes up and down at 2.5 degrees at a time. So from
Right.
10 degrees, we'll
Yeah.
go to the first little white dash above it, which is 12.5 degrees.
Yeah.
And we'll go up one more, which is a bit bigger, to
Yeah.
15 degrees.
Yeah.
Slightly big, slightly lower, well, above, slightly smaller, is 17.5 degrees.
Yeah.
All good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's come back to 10 degrees. Let's go one more lower to 7.5 degrees.
Mhm.
We'll come to the big one just below, which is 5 degrees,
Mhm.
then down to 2.5 degrees, and then to ground zero, where the nose and wings are.
Yep.
All good with that?
Yep.
It's the exact same brown side, so minus 2.5, minus 5, minus
Yeah.
blah.
Yeah. Got it.
But like I
Yeah.
said, we're not going to focus on it too much.
Yeah.
If the speed is low during flight, okay, once we're coming on an approach, if the speed is low and we're still too high towards the runway, we can afford to get the nose slightly into the brown side just so we can dip some altitude, okay? But it's only if the speed is low, because the problem is when you pitch down, speed will rise, okay? We have to make sure we stay within speed guidelines,
Yeah.
okay? So if we have a good 30, 40 knots of gap in speed and we're too high, we can just go, okay, we'll put the nose down a minute just so we can get the aircraft to descend pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then bring the nose back up, the speed will hold off. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Good. So right hand screen, does all that sound okay for now?
Yeah.
I'll say things again, don't worry,
Yeah.
during flight, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Just-
Come to the left. Okay, this one is your ND, your navigation display, okay? Just like your sat nav in your car, effectively. So me and you, the aircraft, is the triangle here. Okay? So do you drive in that Mercedes back there?
Yeah.
Okay, because that has a sat nav in it, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on your sat nav, it's like a little diamond shape, isn't it, for the car?
Yeah.
So same thing. Okay, this is us. Okay, but this will never ever move. Okay.
Right.
Now on just at the top of the nose, we have a white line that comes all the way up,
Yeah.
all the way up, all the way up, and it meets this black downward arrow at the top that says 270. Okay. That means the aircraft is pointing at 270 degrees on the 360 compass. Okay, because you can see it's just a compass. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the minute, the compass is chopped in half. Okay, what I can do is make it a full 360 compass to show you the whole thing. This is 360. Okay, what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to keep it like that simply because when I start displaying some information such as runways and waypoints on there, it will become very clustered like that, and you won't be able to see much information. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep it a half compass. Okay, just so you can see a little bit more. All right. Okay. So back to the heading. Okay. So to turn to the left, which would be this side, yep, of the nose, which obviously be a left turn that side. Turn to the right, which is that side, okay? The aircraft, which is us, the heading line and the heading itself will all stay nice and centered in that display, but the compass will rotate around us, okay? If you see how a compass works, yeah, it starts to rotate as you turn. Yep, it will keep telling us where we're pointing in terms of the compass all day, every day, okay? So I'm going to say to you, we'll turn left to a certain degree and right to a certain degree, okay? Which is where this little dotted purple line comes into place here. So this is called your heading bug. So if I come up to the mode control panel, heading, okay? At the minute, the heading is set at 0 degrees north. Can you see here? 3 zeros. So what I can do, if I start twisting this one to the left, all the numbers change and that line starts to move. Can you see it there? Yeah. So all I'm doing now, I'm selecting different compass headings. So I might say to you, we're going to turn to the left and go to 230 degrees. 230 is now set in there, and the heading bug is over here at 230. So 230, 240, 5, 6, 7. All good with that?
Yeah, got it.
So you can see from us, as we've already mentioned, that's a left-hand turn, yeah? From the nose. So just that way, okay? Yeah. So all we want to do, again, I'll show you how to do the turning part once we're flying, okay? But for now, let's say we're turning left, okay? We'll start to bank the aircraft. As I said, we'll stay nice and centered, okay? The compass will start rotating to the right. It'll start bringing the heading towards us, okay? Because the compass will rotate that way. It does the opposites, okay? And all we want to do is got a little heading bug here. That's the black downward arrow to sit nicely in that top little cursor there. See at the top of the heading bug, it's got a little downward motion to it at the top. That's because it fits firmly onto that black arrow. So what I'll do is I'll bring 230 degrees to 270 and show you how we line those headings up. Okay, what it looks like when you're supposed to be on headings. So let me go to 270. See if it's there nicely on the top. There you go. So 270 degrees is where you are, and that's what I've set. As long as those two match, okay, you go in the right direction. Okay. If you're a couple of degrees either side of the heading, okay, because let me tell you, it's really difficult to turn the aircraft, bank it, get it centered, and get the heading on accurately. Okay. If you're a couple of degrees either side, okay, it's not a problem. Okay. For me, as long as you can turn left, straighten up, turn to the right, straighten up, that's fine. The actual getting on the heading and staying there is something you learn a bit further down the line. Alright? So if you struggle with that, that's not a problem. As long as you can get the aircraft stable, I'm fine with that. Alright? Okay. Does that make some sense, yeah? Yeah. Great, okay, so get the heading bar out of the way for a minute, 'cause it's not necessary at this moment in time. So, we're here at, any idea what airport we're at? Yeah, any ideas what airport we're at this moment in time?
Well, Davison, presumably.
No, as in here, on the software.
Oh, sorry. I haven't got a clue, no.
Bristol. At this moment in time, we're here at Bristol Airport. Are you familiar with Bristol? Couple of times.
Once.
Okay, so here the runway for us is here just on the left. Okay, this little kind of brown area here coming all the way down, that is the runway. Okay, so at the minute that's kind of parallel to us, isn't it? It's just slightly that way. So what I'm going to do is we always take off and land using a runway indicator, okay, which I'm going to put onto the screens for you. So your left screen, my right, your nav display, okay? Because we always line up and land on a runway, not just looking outside, we always use the instruments, using us, the nose, and the heading bug, okay? As long as these two are nice and centered on the center line, okay, the aircraft will be nice and centered on the runway, okay? And I'm going to show you how we do that, okay? So for that, I'll come down to our flight management systems, which these two. So this is mine, this is yours. They do the exact same thing, one's just for each pilot, okay? I'll start on my side, so I'll go to the route page. We're at Echo Golf Golf Delta, okay, which is Bristol Airport. That's our pilot code for Bristol. Now we're going to fly down towards, I think we're flying towards Exeter, it's not too far. My local airports, so I know it quite well. Echo Golf Tango Echo is Exeter. Okay, so I've put in to the GPS system. We want to go from Bristol to Exeter. Now I'm going to select two runways, one to depart on. So on your left screen, a little runway indicator, which is two long parallel lines, and a dotted white line is going to pop up in a second. So runway, take off on 27. Have you seen something just pop up on your screen? Yeah. Okay, so here we have two long parallel lines. Can you see them in here? One here, one there. Yeah. That is the runway itself. Okay, can you kind of make that out in a way? Yeah. Okay, and then this dotted white line here that goes all this way. It goes through the runway indicator and out the other side at the back of the triangle. That is the runway center line. Okay, indicates the middle part of the runway. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to push us back. I'll taxi us over there. I'm going to get the aircraft to sit in the middle of the runway, and you're going to see that our little black arrow and our white line and heading bug at the top, which is our black arrow, is going to sit nicely in the middle of that runway indicator. Okay? And it will make perfect sense then how we get the aircraft on the centre line. And the same for landing. Okay? Once we come down to Exeter, we're going to have a nice little runway indicator just like that, and a centre line. About 5 or 10 miles out, we're just going to approach the runway centre line, turn and bank onto it, get the aircraft nice and centred about 5 miles out, come down, glide and make a landing. Okay? Yeah. Easy. Easier? Yeah, exactly. That's what you're going to say, it's easy.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Great, so what I'll do now is select, that's rotation number 26 at Exeter. So, now on the display, from the triangle, which is us, to the second semicircle line is a range of 2.5 nautical miles. So they're 2.5. Now, if I zoom out, this one here, we're now at 10 miles range. Runway's got smaller because I'm zooming out.
Yeah.
I'm at 10, 20 miles range, 20, 40, 40, 80. Little runway 26, little star there, which is your runway indicator. Centre line, that is Exeter Airport. Just over 40 nautical miles that way. Alright?
Okay.
So all we can do from here to here is just do a bit of manual flying, okay? Get you making some left and right hand turns all the way down. We'll line up on this centre line and come all the way down and land on runway 26. Alright? Again, easy peasy. Alright? You'll be guided by me the whole way. Alright?
Yeah, okay.
So what I'll do is put some more fuel in. So I'll just pause a minute. So 2,000 left, 2,000 to the right. I'll just put into 4 tons of fuel in as you do. There you go. So fuel's complete in here. With 2 wing tanks, I've got 2,000 each, 4,000 kilos of fuel, 4 tons. So the seatbelt sign can go on, which is up here for me. That one there, flip that one down for me. Good. So in terms of your displays at the minute, everything's making sense, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's what we're going to go through, and now we'll just think about getting the aircraft ready to go. All right. So the seatbelt's set. So what we'll do now is we'll get the aircraft ready for a pushback and a taxi. So we'll flip the appropriate lights on, which is your logo light here, and then your anti-collision, your wing, and your wheel well. Just miss out that strobe light for me. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 2, 3, and 4. Now come across to my left and turn on the taxi and 2 runway lights here for me. Good. So what we'll do is I'll sign into the instructor station and then we'll get a pushback from the ground. So usually I now contact the tower and say I'm ready for pushback, I'm ready for my departure to wherever. Then they'll say, yep, clear for push and start. I'd speak to the ground, which is the guys just down here. They'll then push me back, start the engines, and off we go. We'll disable the hassle of engines already started, so let's just do it now. So do it here, ground services, go to the left, and we'll press a pushback. So like in your car, your handbrake here, just down here I'll push it forward. So now you're effectively on a hill, you can roll back, and the aircraft's now being pushed back from the gate.
Okay.
Taking out the stairs there a little bit. So you can see the way the compass rotates, see it there?
Yeah.
As we start this is effectively a left turn. Okay, that's how the compass will rotate, just like that. So just push back a little bit more, so nice and stable, I'll then put the parking brake back on.